It's
Dude, pretty much all the old school guys are gone now. Like the ones that like have been polarizing, like the Mark Crawfords, the Joel Quennevilles, the Babcocks.
Hang on though. I mean, Quenneville might be in line for the next up for Columbus, right?
that would be the most Columbus Blue Jackets thing, is to like get popped for hiring this horribly controversial coach and then just turn right around and double down on it. Well, let's get a guy that's actually really good at coaching hockey that allegedly did something way worse. It's like,
higher risk, higher reward. But I will say, I guess, God, I'll probably end up being wrong, but I would think the one silver lining to this just horrible start for your guys' season, this should at least make teams more hesitant to consider Bowman and Quenneville, seeing how horribly this went right out of the gate, right? Like,
yeah,
I still think teams are going to eventually be desperate enough to try or think enough time has passed.
Mm-hmm.
But at least instead of it being next season, maybe that's 3 or 4 years from now. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and the thing with Bowman and Quenneville, Bowman, I'm not even going to talk about, because he, like, the only reason he had a job as a GM was because of his family connections. In my opinion, he was a terrible I mean, we got Sod for nothing from him. Then we traded Sod back to him older for Panarin. And like, it's and then we like got a haul in the Seth Jones trade. Columbus on its own should have gotten him fired just for the bad deals he made with us. So like, I don't see.
Yeah, and honestly, hey, Aaron, if anything, you should be worshiping him right now, because he's done a lot for you guys.
I was so sad when he got fired. Honestly, I was like, he's a terrible GM, but like, we're not going to be able to
miss Chiarelli running
anymore. Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
it was a beautiful, chaotic mess, and I loved every second of it.
It was like a money laundering operation for assets. It's like, anybody looks at those sheets, it's like, what's going on behind the scenes here?
It's a drug cartel. Yes.
Yeah.
Chicago Blackhawks drug front. That's the headline.
Yeah, but the thing with those guys, I think say they do get hired somewhere else, I think you're a lot less likely to have something like this happen, because that is, as horrible as that situation was, it was an isolated incident. And from a lot of the reports that I've read, I mean, I don't have a lot of inside knowledge of it, obviously, but basically everyone's in agreement that there was a meeting that was held. No details of what actually happened were discussed. And Rocky Wirtz was like, I'm going to take care of this. You guys focus on hockey, which, once they realized something bad was happening, they obviously should have spoken up immediately. But in that situation, it's like, oh, my boss tells me he's going to handle something, whatever. And that's really all that those guys have on their record from immediate.
I don't give a shit though. Like, so I'll tell you what, I'll even appease it. And this is not how I feel. So, people don't bash me. Let's just say we want to go along the lines of, it's okay that they wanted to like keep it quiet so that the team could push through the cup run. Right.
Yeah, well, and if they
for anything to come out, because no one said anything, no one did anything. It was pretty clear at that point that no one at the top was taking care of it. At a certain point, fucking do something.
Yeah, and like, that's not even really as I just kind of throw that in there off the cuff. I mean, it's like, obviously
it's true. That's the big argument.
They fucked up big time, and should not, like, as soon as they had any details about it, they should have had it come out. Even if someone was like, oh yeah, some kind of small thing happened, we don't really have the details, like, let's figure it out. You guys focus on hockey, we'll do this. At the end of the season, once they got the details, they had to say something. They didn't.
Oh yeah.
But what I'm saying,
but on the positive side, you look at Columbus with like on the lowest end of like the inappropriate scale, that still is something that is inappropriate at work, and they were on it right away. So like, it's good on the Columbus Blue Jackets manager.
I also think that that's self-preservation, because they were already under the microscope with making this risky hire. So like, yes, they did a good job getting out of it, but they also put themselves into it.
No, for sure.
It's just a bad move from the organization. And what I was going to say is, like, with Quenneville and Bowman, I think you have less risk of something like that happening again, being that there was this isolated, awful incident, and they really don't have a lot of other bad stuff. Mike Babcock, he has a track record of just always doing these things over and over again. It's like a personality thing. It's how he runs his day-to-day operations. It's who he is. So to hire him and think that he's not going to do something like this, I don't understand.
It was the same with Mark Crawford. When the NHL brought Mark Crawford back, even as an assistant in Ottawa, I knew it was ticking time bomb. And then what was like 2 months in where there was like controversy, and I was like, did did nobody learn that this guy's just a little fucked in the head and like just should not be coaching in North America or at all?